Hey folks, this is Vince with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Galaxy Trucker. This is a tabletop game for 2 to 4 players. It's for ages 8 and up, and the average play time is 30 minutes. Now this is a relaunch of Galaxy Trucker. This game has been out for quite a while now, but this is a relaunch version of it. And we're not going to play a full game today, but we will just go over the components and how the game is played. And if you like what you see here, you can pick up the game for yourself for fairly cheap. I do have the digital version as well, and I do play that from time to time, but this is the newly relaunched version, and here's a look at all the components. Lots of baggies. Lots and lots and lots and lots of baggies, lots of components, that's good. No box insert really, just a box that you hold everything in. You've also got this large bag of tiles. It's just ridiculous. So you're going to have a lot. Rather than dump them all out, I did pull samples of everything so I can show you in more detail. So what are you doing in Galaxy Trucker? Well, you are racing your other players, your friends, or whoever's playing with you. You're trying to finish the race while completing missions. The game is twofold. There is a shipbuilding element in the beginning where you're going to take this huge bag of tiles, put them face down, and then one at a time, just draw them, decide whether or not you want to add them to your ship, and move on to the next one. If you don't want it, you just put it back face up for other players to possibly take. So there's a shipbuilding element to this, and these components have connectors. So you're trying to match connector types if at all possible. Like for example, so here we go. These connectors here would work just fine, but you would not be able to connect, say, this connector to this connector because they don't match. So you have to match connector types when you're playing this game. So there's a shipbuilding element in the beginning, and that's like one half of the game, is just drafting tiles face down from the center or face up, depending on whether or not your opponent has seen them already, and put them into your ship the way you want. So you're building your ship, and you've got a lot of different ways to build your ship too. And I've pulled some samples rather than just dump the entire bag out. Each player will start with this little habitat, and it'll be of their player color. And these hold crew members, and crew members will be needed to help you complete your missions, which you will embark on in the second half of the game. So you will need crew members, and tiles like these will help you do it. You start with this one, or whatever your player color is, and then you draft more of these neutral ones to possibly place in your ship somewhere. You've got engines, which help you go. Again, various events in the game will task you with, using your engines or traveling fast, whoever's traveling the fast, whatever. I'll show you the missions in a little bit. But yeah, there are different engines. There's a 1 engine here and a 2 engine here. 2 engines, anything that is double in this game typically requires more energy to operate. You've got these connectors here. They don't do anything other than help you connect other things together. You'll notice that some of these tiles, they have like one here, connector here, connector here, connector here. But some tiles are like one-ended. Like this one gun, for example, only has a connector on this side and this side. Well, a lot of these have connections on all 4 sides or on 3 sides. So they're sort of like universal infrastructure connectors that help you connect everything together. So if you need help connecting things, these things will help you out big time. You've got these weapons here. These weapons will combat various threats that come up. Typically you want them facing forward. You can face your weapons to the side, but they have reduced damage or power whenever you do that. There are double weapons as well. Again, they require more energy to operate. So there's that. Shield generators. Shield generators will protect the ship from harm from various things. Not everything, but various things. And 2 different quadrants. So you've got northwest, east, and south. The way this is pointed, it'll protect you from a north threat and a west threat. If this were rotated this way, then it's going to protect you from the east and south. So depending on how you have this rotated in your ship will be protected from various threats. Again, these require energy to operate. Cargo. Cargo is ways to score victory points at the game's end. These ones here are standard cargo bays. They hold everything but the red cubes here. These are your cargo cubes. Red is like hazardous material. For that, you need a special tile. This can hold anything. This is a wild one. But it's typically harder to get and doesn't hold as much. This holds, I think, only one red cube on it, or one of anything on it, whereas something like this can hold 3 but cannot support red. Red is the most valuable at the end of the game, so if you can grab a bunch of those and have a bunch of these, great, you'll get a lot of points. So there's cargo in this game. Let's see what else we got. Got batteries. Batteries in this game, they will help you charge various systems on your ship if you want to shoot your lasers or activate your energy or activate engines. You're going to be spending energy to do these things. And at the start of the game, you know, when these are on your ship, you start with these energy cubes. These are these little energy cubes. They look like little beans. But yeah, you're going to put them on here and then use them. Now they do not regenerate. So once you use them, you lose them. But so if you have a lot of energy on your ship in the beginning, you'll be able to make sure that you can power all your systems appropriately. Again, that's part of the shipbuilding process. What do you want to sacrifice? What do you want to concentrate on? Do you want an even mix of everything? Depends. In one of the game variants, it lets you actually look at the events that are going to be in the second half of the game, so you can sort of plan ahead and see what you want in terms of building your ship. Other things that I did not show you, there are these aliens. In addition to these, there are tiles in the bag that support alien habitats. This might be one, actually. See if I can grab it out of the bag real quick. Okay, so here's like a little, these little tiles are connected to these for life support purposes. And in doing so, at the beginning, you can either choose to use standard crew members or you can put an alien on that habitat. And aliens act as crew members, but they also have special bonuses. One of the aliens, for example, I think improve weapons or something like that. I'll look it up in the manual, or you can look it up in the manual on your own. But suffice to say, it takes a lot of effort to add an alien to your ship, but they give you passive bonuses. So you may want them instead of your crew members. It's completely up to you and how you want to work that. There are dice in the game, which may be necessary for certain events. These are your different player markers. Again, you're going to have one player color, like let's say you're green, for example. You're going to have one here and then one on this tracker. This tracker here is how players track their progress in this race that they've undergone. Again, players will be building their ship first, that's the first half of the game, and then they're going to be racing around this track trying to get in front of each other. The player that is in first place at the end of the second half of the game gets bonus points. But you also get points for other things like cargo that you have. If you have any parts of your ship that are destroyed at the end of your run, you get negative points for that. These are the various events that could happen. Lasers, for example, take care of these larger meteors. Shields will stop smaller meteors. Smaller meteors will bounce off parts of your ship, assuming that you don't have an exposed connector. So if you have your ship and it looks something like this, okay? You've got a connector facing the outside of your ship, and that means it's exposed. So any threat that hits it, like a small meteor, will wipe it out. Now, if this were rotated a different, let's do it maybe here. So now there's no exposed connector over here. So if a meteor were to fly from row 7 from the left, it would hit this and bounce off because there's no exposed connector here. So again, that's part of the whole shipbuilding, is trying to create a ship that will minimize the amount of damage you might take from various threats like this. Some threats just can't be blocked, like this large cannon fire here, whatever that is. There are a number of boards here. Like there's two, like this is the beginner board. There's an S and an L here. I'll have to look that up later. But there's also a purple board for the medium and a red board for the large. So that corresponds to your different ships. Again, this is like level 1. This is ship level 2, and ship level 3 is here. So you can choose a beginner game and do the smaller ship, or you can choose the large ship and have a longer game. Depending on what ship size you have, you'll put the corresponding board out, and that will also determine what kind of threats or how many threats you face. You're going to have 4 piles of these things, and they're Roman numeraled 1, 2, and 3, and they have different different things going on. Like here's open space, here's planets where players can potentially get cargo. They'll have to give up position on the track to stop here. Like it takes time for them to stop here and pick up this cargo and put it into their cargo base. But again, it's victory points at the end of the game. First come, first serve too. So if you're in front, you get first dibs here, which is nice. You can send 6 crew members down to get 2 red hazardous things. Again, there's abandoned ship, meteor swarm. That's where you roll dice and figure out where it's coming from. That kind of, slavers, meteor swarm. There's a bunch. There are some cards in here that have, I think it's like an L on it for the tutorial game. But yeah, there's basically the second half of the game is players are going to be resolving events one at a time, trying to deal with the threats that come up, get cargo, but ideally, ultimately, get cargo, get in front, and earn a lot of points. That's typically how it goes. And also minimize whatever damage you can. Again, by spending energy to fire weapons or to activate your shields and so on. Other components I did not show you. This is money here. As players play, they earn this money, and that'll help them determine their final score at the end of the game. The game also includes not only a beginner variant, but there's also like extra stuff at the end. Like this rulebook is roughly 24 pages or so, and there is a huge epic, the Transgalactic Trek is what it's called, where you start off with ship number 1, then ship number 2, then ship number 3, and as you play these 3 games, you'll be using these tiles, which will tell players, you know, it will modify the game in various ways. You can actually see here how they do so. Sometimes they provide bonuses or negatives. For example, if a player is clearly winning, these ones here will actually hinder the player that's winning the game so that the other players may have a chance to catch up. So yeah, there's different things here. There is a sand timer. This comes into play when you're building your ship. That way, when the last player is done building their ship, they can flip this over, and the rest of the players have that much time to finish their ship before the time runs out. There are some other like shipbuilding rules that I did not get into, advanced aliens, other things. I don't want to cover everything in the rulebook. I just simply will say, there's also a quick reference guide for those of you that just want the nitty-gritty rather than having to go through all 17, 18 pages. But yeah, this is a fantastic game, folks. I love the shipbuilding element to this. One thing I did not see, the digital edition actually included, the shipbuilding process is real time, meaning that you have to be fast. All of the players at the same time are going to be trying to grab tiles from the center to place here. The digital edition actually includes a turn-based system. I didn't see that in the manual, so that's something that you guys may want to look up on your own. It may be on Board Game Geek, I don't know. But the digital edition actually includes a turn-based mode for the shipbuilding process, and I did not see a variant in here. Maybe I missed it, it's possible, but I did not see that particular variant in here. So anyway, what do I think of Galaxy Trucker? Well, first of all, the components are beautiful. I love the fact that there's a shipbuilding element to this. Like, every single game is going to be different because you're going to be building your ship differently, depending on what tiles you find in the center, what tiles your opponents have grabbed. Oh, maybe your opponent isn't liking what they're finding and putting a lot of face-up tiles back. Oh, it helps me out. Notice that different parts have different connectors. Like, this is the same laser, right? Same weapon, but there's a connector here that's like a single, and here's a double. So you may find the component you want, but not the connectors that you need to make everything work out. So you may end up putting stuff back that you want because the connectors don't jive well together. Hence, reasons why you may want to use stuff like this to help you out. But anyway, I love that element of the game. I love that aspect. The shipbuilding aspect is probably my favorite part. The second part of the game, the second half, where you're trying to stay in front of your opponents and get as much cargo and victory points as possible. That's also cool too, and I love that there are so many different cards and so many different events. It feels like I'm on an episode of Star Trek where, you know, oh, now enemies are attacking. Oh, now there's cargo, stardusts, meteor swarms. There's all these different events that pop up. So you never know what you're going to face from game to game. And again, you can make the game as short or as long as you want. The easy game, it's like, I think it was 4 piles of 2 Roman numeral 1 cards. So it's very easy, and it's a total of 8 events in all, and then you're done with the game after you do your shipbuilding part. Whereas I think the red version of this, I think it's four stacks of 4 cards each. A lot of them are Roman numeral 3 cards, so it's like 16 events in all, and they're pretty darn hard. Most of them are hard. So you're going to be struggling to keep up with everything. So your shipbuilding part is going to be crucial to keep you going. Now again, with a Roman numeral 3 ship, it's going to be larger, so you're going to have more to work with to help you out with dealing some of those harder threats. I like this game, I really do. If you cannot afford the physical version, or if you have no one to play with, I highly recommend checking out the digital version. But yeah, long story short, I do recommend this one. It's a fantastic game. Go check it out. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.